Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for taking the time today to join our webinar on discussing how to set up and manage a multilingual knowledge base using HappyFox. My name is Jonathan Langan. As Belinda mentioned, I'm part of the customer success team here at HappyFox. I'll be your host through the session. Really quick, Twitter. If you guys would tweet about us, we would love it. You could use the handles listed here on the slide. You could follow us at HappyFox app to keep up with updates from us. And for this webinar, we're using the hashtag multilingual KB. KB short for knowledge base, of course. And please feel free to tell us what you like or dislike about the webinar or about the feature that I'm going to show you guys today. We'd like to engage with you there. Briefly, a couple of other points I want to go through. Like Belinda said, we're going to do a Q&A section towards the end of the webinar. If you have questions, go ahead and type them into the GoToWebinar chat box, and we'll try to address as many of those as we can. And the session should last somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes. And yes, we are recording it for any of those of you who want to watch it at a later date or share with some colleagues. It normally takes about 48 hours for us to post the webinar links up on our website or our YouTube channel. So the overview for this webinar is first, we're going to review some new pricing plans that we're going to be launching here at HappyFox, which is going to incorporate the multilingual knowledge base feature you'll see today, as well as some other things we're coming out with. And we're going to list the benefits of using a multilingual knowledge base. We'll learn how you can simply set this feature up in the HappyFox application. And then we'll kind of go through how you can manage some content manager or KB knowledge base translator roles. So the first thing to jump into is the pricing plans, as I mentioned. So here at HappyFox, the highest plan we have right now is our Mighty plan. We're going to be launching the Fantastic plan, which is going to be higher than the Mighty plan, actually, which is going to include all of the features that you see here, plus a lot more, actually. I just kind of wanted to highlight some things that you're going to have a built-in customer satisfaction survey. You won't have to integrate with SurveyMonkey or some other third-party platforms any longer. You'll be able to have the multilingual knowledge base feature we're going through today. You'll be able to have metrics and reporting on smart rules, your support center, and custom fields. We're going to open up a European data center hosting option and have some SMS integration on this fantastic plan as well. Those are just some of the highlights, as I mentioned. And also, we're going to be releasing an enterprise plan, which you could see is going to have the iPad reporting app, which will be coming out. And HappyFox, we're going to be launching a new product that we're really excited about, actually. And I can't really mention what it is right now, but follow us on Twitter and stay up to date on our webinars, and we'll be releasing that feature here in the near future. But it will dramatically increase your support ability. And that's going to be included in the enterprise plan as well. You'll see those new plans on our website in the very near future. So to list some of the advantages of using the multilingual knowledge base, I mean, the advantages are pretty self-explanatory here, but to list a few that directly come from HappyFox, we kind of coined the term, you'll be able to stay local but go global. So in other words, you'll be able to easily create a global self-service feature to reach a much wider audience and drastically reduce your support volume at the same time. You could also give access to all of these languages under one support domain for your customers. And you'll be able to manage all of these languages under one staff portal for your content managers. And again, that's where you could potentially have a translator come in and just give them roles in HappyFox to manage your knowledge base content. So first, we're just going to get into a demo really of the product through this webinar. And the first thing we're going to go through is the initial setup of your multilingual knowledge base. You're going to want to set up primary language first and then select up to 5 languages that you can manage. So I'm just going to jump into the application itself. And the first thing I want to go over with you guys is kind of the end result. So this is a demo account that I've set up for the webinar purpose, of course, and just to show you, how it's going to work. As you can see, if you're familiar with HappyFox already, everything is going to look identical to the current user interface that we have. However, once you translate some of your knowledge base articles into another language or languages, you're going to have this drop-down option right here. Where you're going to be able to select, or your customers are going to be able to select which language they want to or prefer to see the content in. And all they have to do is select Spanish, for example. I've translated some knowledge base information into Spanish and French here for you guys. So all they have to do is select which language they prefer from the drop down, URL reload, and you'll be able to see the content in Spanish or French, or of course whichever languages you wish to translate your knowledge base information into. If I open up an article, I could read through this article information as well as change the language just on the article as well, by the way. Very simple to use. So I just kind of wanted to show you the end result really fast. And before we get into how to set it up, and now we're going to jump into how to manage and start creating the multilingual knowledge base content. So the first thing you're going to do, log onto your support portal and click on the knowledge base tab, where you're going to be able to manage all of your knowledge base features and content. This is going to look very similar to what is already shown in HappyFox in the user interface, but you're going to have a new browse option. And you're also going to have this new languages tab here, where you're going to set your initial multilingual knowledge base information up. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your primary language. Note, you can only do this once, and it can't be changed even from our end. What this primary language is actually is it's going to help improve your searchability in your knowledge base, because the text search that we use removes the need to search for common words like is, the, and, that, etc. So that the search will be able to focus more on some pertinent words throughout all of your languages actually. And also this primary language might correlate to your main customer base, of course, but most importantly, it's the parent language you will manage all of your knowledge base content with. So make sure you select the appropriate language for your content managers and your HappyFox account. So once you've selected your primary language, you're going to select down here which languages you want to translate all of your knowledge base content in. And again, you could select up to 5 languages here. I've only selected 2 right now. And also note that when you select a language, let's say I'll add Portuguese to this, I have the option to deselect this box so that it's not visible in my support center. And ultimately, this will allow you to build out your content before your customers have access to view it. In this case, I'll just add Portuguese. It'll be viewable. I'm going to save my settings. And let's just quickly jump back to my slides. And we're going to get in now to how to add sections and translate sections. So we're going to create sections. We're going to translate our section titles and also go through how to edit sections. And just really quickly, let me show you what I mean on the section titles. HappyFox uses this to organize all of your knowledge base content. So here you could see I have my section titles. I could add subsections and which are going to house all of my knowledge base articles. It's really going to help clean your knowledge base up and keep things organized for your end users. So you can see I've already created a couple of sections and a subsection here, and today we're going to create one more section, and I'm just going to name this webinar training, which actually I've already done this once, so it'll auto-populate for me. I could select whether or not this is going to be a subsection of any of my current sections. I'm just going to make it a parent section. add an internal description if desired, and then I'm going to associate the appropriate categories, which you could select all of them or any combination of categories that this knowledge base article will be available in, and then we're going to create the section. Now notice, once I've created my new section, I've named it in my primary language, which is English in this case, and I have the ability to translate it into the 3 languages that I have selected under my languages tab here. So I have Spanish, French, and Portuguese. And as you can see, I have some green check marks here and some plus signs. Ultimately, what this is if you see a green check mark, you've completed the translation, and if you see the plus sign, you need to add a translation. So in webinar training, you can just simply click to add a Spanish translation. Notice this box is text sensitive or context sensitive, so you know which language you're working on. And just really quick, I'll show you how to do this very simply. I'll do this on my Portuguese language actually. So you can have translators and content managers, but in this case, I'll just show you how easy it is to use Google Translator. Just type in the languages you wish to translate, paste it into the box, and then you could copy the content back over into HappyFox here. Once that's done, you can add an internal description, of course, and create the translation. And now you see the green check mark here saying that my webinar training section has been translated into Portuguese, and these need to be translated still as well. The next thing I want to note is that you can edit all of these section titles under each one of these languages, or you could click this edit button to view the primary language article section and edit it there. I'll show you how to do that shortly, or the difference really. And that's pretty much it for creating and translating sections. It's ultimately free text fields and a drop-down. It's very simple to do. The next thing we're going to get into is how to add article translation. So it's going to be a very similar interface where you're going to translate your articles. You're going to be able to reference the primary language articles and use the images from that article in your translated articles. And you're going to be able to add tags and attachments under the primary article as well for easy searchability. So in order to add your article translation, you're just going to click on this Articles tab. And you're going to see pretty much a very similar user interface again, where you can edit, translate, and add articles. Actually, I want to show you guys really fast how we can translate this article, which has already been created. So I've created a primary article or a primary language article. I'm going to translate it into Portuguese really fast for you. And notice, before I can translate the article, HappyFox is going to tell me to translate the section title first. The reason for this is because HappyFox will only display sections that have articles housed in them and that have already been translated as well. So let me translate this really fast. Create. Once this is done, I will be able to now add my article translation. And I want to show you the difference between adding a section translation and adding an article translation. So when translating an article, obviously you're going to have a lot more content in the article rather than just the section title. And you're going to be able to reference, as I mentioned, the actual content in your primary language article here. If desired, you could change the language here as well, if it's been translated. So you could simply copy, if desired, if you're going to use Google Translate or something like that, you could just simply, again, copy this, translate it, paste the content into your article. And then if you have images embedded into your original article, all you have to do is click and drag and add the image here into your new article. So your translation is very simple, and you're not going to have save files or images on your desktop or somewhere online, which you can do that, HTML embed, or you can add images from your desktop as well. But if you're going to reference your original knowledge base or primary knowledge base article, you just use the images from it. Oops. And once you're done with that, you're going to select your visibility preferences, which by default, your articles are going to be internal, which means only your staff can view them. If you want to make it a public article, you're just going to uncheck this box and publish the article. And let's just pretend that I just want to add this content. We'll pretend that this is Portuguese. I'll paste it into here, publish the article. Oh. And once the article is published, again, you'll be able to see the green check mark that this article has been translated and therefore will be viewable on your customer support portal. Now, when it comes to editing articles, as I mentioned before, you're going to click under the column, you're going to click on the check mark, which you have already translated or not translated in order to edit your language article or your translated article. But if you want to edit the primary article, you're going to click this edit button here. And you're going to go be able to edit your primary language article. The next thing I want you to notice is under the primary article, you have a couple of extra fields where you can add attachments and you can add tags. And this is where you're going to add attachments and tags for all of your languages actually, is under the primary article, so that if somebody wants to use an attachment, but they're looking at the article in Spanish, for example, they'll be able to click on that attachment link. And this is where you're going to add those things and add, edit, or delete your tags for easy searchability in the knowledge base. The next thing I want to go over is when viewing articles. So you have a new feature here where you could view your article here in English, or you could select any one of the translated articles here. And you're going to be able to see the related content to that article in its language. So first you're going to be able to edit, delete, preview, or copy the link of this article. You could copy this link and enter it into a support ticket, or you could send it to somebody in an email, and it will give you, in this case, the Spanish translated article. But if you're looking at the English version here, you copy the link and it's going to give the end user the English version of the article. And then you also have the ability to preview this article, which will open up a separate tab and actually take you to the link where the article is being housed, where your customers are going to be able to select whether or not the article was useful or not. They could click on tags for related articles that you've added. They could share it on some social networking sites just by clicking on the link and entering in the credentials that populate here. And then they'll be able to see how many views this article has had, when the article was last updated, etc. And if somebody or a customer goes on and says, they like or dislike the article, you'll be able to grab those counts here, and it will be broken out by language as well. So I had one like on my English version or English translation of the article, and one dislike on my Spanish translation of the article. And again, you'll be able to see who updated it last and when that was. Okay. And then the last piece that I want to run through, jump to my PowerPoint again really fast, is the new browse feature, or way to view your articles and subsections and subsections. So you're going to be able to browse the articles by language, again, and the sections. You'll be able to view those article analytics that we just kind of went over, as well as edit, delete, or preview the article sections. In that case, we're just going to, in order to do that, we're just going to click on the Browse button here. And this is the new view you're going to get. So again, really fast, you're only going to be able to view sections here that have some knowledge base content built in it already. If you've created some sections, but there's no articles being housed in those sections, it won't appear here or on your knowledge base. And then you're also going to be able to see recently edited articles down here in this section. And when I open up, when I open up a particular section, I'll be able to see the subsections as well, actually. So I have a section, you're going to see the subsection listed here, and it has one article in it. If you don't have any subsections under a particular section or subsection, it'll tell you that you can add them. It's ultimately what this is saying, but here's the article that I have housed in this subsection here, where it's going to, again, take me to view my article analytics, and I'll be able to edit, delete, preview, or copy the link of this article as well. And then a couple of the last things I want to mention here is that after you create your knowledge base content in some separate languages, you can open up a ticket, and when updating it, you'll be able to automatically have this insert knowledge base link feature here. So you create a knowledge base article, HappyFox automatically generates this ability where you could select a knowledge base article or content to plug in. It'll give a link. You could reply to your customer, and they'll be able to read through the knowledge base content. And of course, that'll really help pick up your response time and take a lot of work volume off your staff agents. And then again, as we mentioned in the beginning, you'll be able to create a role. Like let's say you just have a translator or a knowledge base content manager. You'll be able to create a role for them and only allow them to view the knowledge base content. So I've created a role here for a staff agent that just translator, where they could edit the knowledge base content, and I'll edit this really fast. I've only given them user rights to add and edit sections and articles, so they won't have access to any of the tickets in my HappyFox account and really do anything else at all. So that's a way you could kind of manage your translator or content manager roles there. Once you create that role, you just kind of add a new staff member and assign the new translator role to them, and they'll be able to move on from there. All right, and that really concludes the demo of the new feature, the multilingual knowledge base feature that we've set up. I mean, you guys can see that ultimately everything is drop-down windows and free text fields. And of course, you're going to be able to have the power for a global audience to jump on here, scroll through your multilingual knowledge base content. And now we're going to get into the Q&A part of the webinar. So let me jump on and look at some of these questions here. So again, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat box, and we'll try to address any of those as we can. Hopefully we covered a lot of them during the demo. A question. So can we have tags in other languages? You can add tags in other languages, but you can only add tags under the primary article. So back and show this really fast. So we'll click on articles, and let's say I wanted to add some tags on this article here, and I go to edit the Spanish version of the article. I don't have a place to add my tags under the translated article because my primary language is English. So if I go back to my articles and I click on edit to edit the primary language or the primary article, that's where I'm going to be able to have the ability to add the tags. I could click edit to add any tags I want here, and say you'll be able to delete tags here as well. So you'll be able to add tags, or you'll be able to attach files in any language here. Let's see next. Will the URL be unique for translated article? Yes. So again, if you wanted to, let's click on articles and open another article up really fast. Let's edit. When you click on this view option, you'll be able to view, again, the analytics. You'll be able to copy the link URL, etc. So if you choose you want to see the French article, you're just going to copy this public link here, and I could even show you once you plug that in, it'll have a different URL, and you'll be able to see the content in French. some more questions here. I'm trying to read through these guys. Do we have individual upvotes or downvotes for each article? If I'm understanding this one correctly, the answer is yes. So again, we have a French article here, and we have 2 likes and 0 dislikes. If I click on the Spanish version of this article, however, you're going to be able to see the analytics differently here. So we've got 0 likes and 1 dislike on our Spanish article. So hopefully that answers your question there. Jessica Vix, you missed the start. So sorry. No problem. We're recording it, and you could watch it, and we could run through some of this info together if necessary. Can you change the login welcome to the support center and other section text same way you can that a whole different process? This one comes from Cindy. So I think what you're asking, let me go back to my homepage here on the knowledge base, is you want to be able to translate this text as well in this text. So as of right now, what is going to be translated is the actual knowledge base content. And maybe this is something we could work on the back end and plug some CSS code in for you if you were going to translate some of these things. But this is very general support center. I haven't customized any of this really. This can be customized though, however you want it to be. So you could plug in your company logo and change the colors and enter in your whatever you want this title to say as well. It won't be translated, but again, this is all going to be customized for you and your company really as well. So it'll stay in one language. But that's a good question, actually. Nick, I think you had the same question right there, Nick. And to format a new search button. Okay. Yeah, so as of right now, those things won't be translated. Ultimately, what will be translated is the knowledge base information here. Okay, Cindy, that did answer your question. Very good. Here's one. What if my translated article is relevant only in one language that is not the primary language? Does that mean I have to add the article to the primary language? The answer there is yes, actually. So, and that's a good question. So really quick, everybody, my primary language is English, but let's say I want to add a knowledge base article in Spanish, and it only pertains to the Spanish knowledge base for whatever reason that is. What you'll have to do is add the article in English first, because that's your primary language, and then translate it. The workaround, however, is you can make your article an internal article, so it won't be accessible to the public on your English knowledge base page, but you'll be able to see it in Spanish. Can the multilingual knowledge base be used with HappyFox API? Martin, I'm not exactly sure what you're looking for on that one, or following your questions. That's something, I guess, if it's API related, I could reach out to my dev team, or maybe you could create a support ticket and send it out to us, and we'll be able to answer that question. But elaborate a little bit on what you are looking for in using that API. Oh, Jessica Vix, you also asked, I'm reading through, let's see. Does the multilingual knowledge base require an additional fee to use? So yeah, in the beginning, no problem. In the beginning, I kind of said we're releasing 2 new plans actually that are going to be above the Mighty plan. The Mighty plan is now our highest plan, but we're going to be releasing a couple of new features, which actually a few new features on the Fantastic plan. So these are some of the things you're going to be able to see on the Fantastic plan, along with a lot more. And then also I did mention an Enterprise plan is going to become our highest plan, which is going to incorporate an iPad reporting app and a new HappyFox product that will be coming out. Just can't name what it is yet, but it's going to be great. And I think, let's see, I'm not getting any more questions. Anybody else? All right, I think that concludes our webinar on how to create and use a multilingual knowledge base in HappyFox. If you guys don't have any more questions, thank you so much. And oh, Cindy, when is the Fantastic Plan available? We'll be releasing that here in the near future. It'll be released on our website, and we're going to be sending an email blast out to you guys with some of that. That's as much as I can say for you. I'm sorry. But anyways, thank you guys so much again. Please, again, tweet or follow us at HappyFox app, or you could follow us on some of our other handles here. Thank you so much.